Hello and welcome to the inaugural edition of the BCICI Mentor of the Month interview. Our very first guest is CA Balasubramaniam, or Balu sir as we all call him. He was the chairperson of the chapter for the year 2008-9. He is famously called as the Bhishma Pitama of the chapter, under whose guidance many of the later leaders took the chapter to greater heights. He is very young at heart, he is very active participant to all the chapter activities, and I have personally benefited a lot from his wisdom. I am extremely pleased to invite CA Balu sir to this interview.
Thank you, Ajay. I really appreciate and admire your initiative. This is the first time that the chapter is taking such a step, and I really congratulate you and wish you all the best in your term. I am sure you are going to do extremely well. The beginning is already showing. Congratulations and all the very best to your term.
Thank you, sir. The first question that I have, please tell us a little bit about your journey of life, where you were born, your childhood, where you studied, where your work life, and when did you come to Bahrain?
Thank you, Ajay. Thinking where you were born, etc., reminiscences brings a lot of memories to heart. Yes, I was born in Kerala, and many people ask me, you are a Malayali or a Tamilian? And I have to say, I am a Tamil refugee in Kerala. We are Palakkad Iers. So when convenient, I say I am a Malayali. When convenient, I say a Tamilian. But at heart, I am both. I speak Tamilish, Malayalam at home, and our ex-CEC called it Talayalam, a combination of Tamil and Malayalam. I studied up to 5th standard in Kerala in the municipal school, and then later went to Bombay, where I studied from 5th standard to 10th standard. And in Bombay, in that school, it's a South Indian school in Villaparle, I had to study 5 languages: English, Hindi, Malayalam, and Sanskrit, and Marathi. So that gave me a lot of depth into languages in India, and I speak all of them really well. Then of course, as you could have it, I was lifted to Bangalore because I had to go with my brother, who got transferred to a job in Bangalore. And I studied, there from my 9th standard to SSLC, 10th standard, 9th and 10th. Actually, in this process of Kerala, Bombay and Bangalore, I lost 2 years of my life because they always took me in the lower class whenever I went from one state to the other. But nevertheless, in Bangalore, I had to, my brother got me admission to St. Joseph's College. In the commerce section, he thought that's the easiest way of getting a job, because we were from a very humble beginning, humble economic background. But then my father, wrote a letter from the village saying that, he would like me to be a doctor. And then, you used to get Indian letters, there was no mobile or telephone or anything like that in those days. So I had to take back all my certificates from the father of the St. Joseph's College and go and join another college in Bangalore, where I took PCB, Physics, Chemistry and Botany or Biology. And then, as luck would have it, I lost my father during the PUC, and then I got only 67%, and I could not get a seat, and we couldn't afford capitation. And so I did my BSc, and I realized that middle of the road, I would be nowhere if I do BSc and then end up as a medical representative. So I decided to do the toughest course in India, which was CA, and luckily I got admission to Fraser and Ross, which is today Deloitte's, and I passed both my exams, inter and final, in the first attempt, and I also got a rank in the final. I joined HMT, worked for 2.5 years there, then joined Binny's. And then, of course, I passed in the year 77, by the way. I don't know whether you were born at that time.
I was born in 77.
So, I got my first job in HMT in 77, and then I think beginning 80 I joined Binny's, I stayed there for a while, but you know, I got the Middle East bug and went to Bombay, struggled for about 6 months or so, and through SB Bilimoria, I got a job in a company called ACE, which is called Arab Commercial Enterprises, you know, which was present all over the Middle East, as well as they had offices in London and US. So I got this job through SB Bilimoria, and I still remember the partner's name. His name was Aspi Cooper, and I used to send him New Year card as thanks for 15 years. But then when I didn't receive any response for 15 years, I gave up. So in ACE, I joined them in Sana'a in Yemen. After 2.5 years, I was promoted and sent to Athens, where you know, that was in the year 1982, and I used to get promotion, you know, regularly. I became financial accountant, then I became financial controller. I got married in 83, and in 87 I was transferred to Saudi Arabia in Riyadh because of change in you know, ownership of the company. And of course, my daughter was also born in Athens in the year 1987. So we moved out in 1988 actually. So in Riyadh, of course, I came as you know, the group financial controller, and steadily I progressed, and I became the number 2 man in the group, and I was you know, promoted as a group vice president finance, effective the CFO, and the president you know, entrusted the whole group to me, and I was running the show. And that was the time when the Gulf War happened. So it was a bit unsettling for the family to be there in Saudi Arabia during 1991 and beyond. So I really quit the job and took up another job in Inchcape in the UAE. And after 3 years, I decided to quit that and then migrated to Canada. And I took the family. My son was born in 1988 in Chennai, and I went to Canada with my family, and somehow didn't work out. Came back, and then you know, went to Chennai and tried to do something there. Didn't work out, and that is when I contacted my old friend. You know, asked him to see if I can get a job in the Middle East again. And that is when I went to Qatar. I went to see him, and then he introduced me to his friend, who happened to be the Sheikh's you know, financial advisor. And he you know, saw me. I was going for an interview, and he got up, received me, and he said, "Mr. Balu, you are more qualified than me and more experienced than me. In fact, you should be interviewing me, not me, the other way." So then he said, "The job is yours." But he said, "I have another alternative to offer you. So if you are willing and to listen to me, I would like to take you for lunch." And that is when he you know, he said, "I have an audit license in Bahrain, and would you like to be my partner?" And you often ask me this question: why did I choose to be, you know, a practitioner and not in employment? Well, that bug had always been there with me, because when I used to do articles, I used to do part-time job in a Sindhi office, and I still remember in that Sindhi office there was a salesman, and Saeed Kirmani, who was the Indian wicket keeper, used to come almost every other day and chit-chat with him and smoke. So that, you know, working with the Sindhi and being qualified as a chartered accountant, I always dreamt of, you know, having an office on my own and be the boss of myself. So although this job opportunity was giving me almost 5,000 dinar at that time, you know, almost, and I gave it up, and I had to start from scratch, and that is when I landed in Bahrain to start practice. And the firm which we started was Gulf Audit, which, you know, today is Grant Thornton. Okay. And then subsequently, you know, I established Assure Consulting in the year 2005, and about 2 years, almost 2 years back, we established Assure Audit, and we have been in the practice here since 20 years. Wow. So that's you know, my journey to Bahrain.
Okay.
In short.
Wow, you've really been to places. That's interesting. So how was Bahrain when you landed here, and how have things changed in your opinion?
See, Bahrain, you know, as you rightly said, I have lived in practically all GCC countries. I have visited them when I used to be the group financial controller. I used to visit every office in the GCC and Europe almost every 2 weeks. And I can tell you, and I tell this to my Bahraini friends also. I have never found a place as welcoming as the Bahrain people. Although I told my partner in Qatar when I met him, I said, Abbas, why don't you form the company in Qatar? Qatar is more prosperous. You know, Bahrain comparatively is, you know, not so. Then he said, no, I have a lot of friends here, etc. But I had no friends. In fact, you will be surprised, I had no friends in Bahrain when I came here. I have been to Bahrain several times, I know. But you know, I had to, you know, just start all over again. So slowly started getting friends in the insurance industry, in the banking industry. But Bahrain as such was a quiet place. And I almost used to compare Bahrain to Canada, because in Canada, in the signal, you get a sound, tick, 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 you know, when you cross the road. And you hear the same sound in the Manama, you know, in Bab al Bahrain, you hear the same sound. So I used to find similarities. People are very nice, people, you know, are welcoming, they are friendly, they take you to their house. I have visited my partner's house several times. And Bahrain in those days, I can tell you, you know, there was this Lee Meridian Hotel, which is today Ritz-Carlton. That was the only hotel there. And you used to have a building called the Arab Investment Company, Taik, in Sif. No other building, believe me. There was nothing. And no Bahrain Bay, no you know, Bahrain Financial Harbor, no World Trade Center, etc., etc. It was all marina, and you could walk, you know, freely, you know, from one end to the other. You could take your children to play around there. So things have changed now. A lot of real estate development, and of course, it used to be the center of financial activities, and I think it is slowly getting back there. With it being headquarters for most of the Islamic you know, institutions. And Bahrain is a nice place. It is well you know, managed in terms of finance. The Central Bank of Bahrain is well respected in the GCC, and they have a brilliant you know, way of maintaining the country. You know, when I brought some visitors from India, they used to say it's such a beautiful country with a lot of you know, flowers and greens and everything else. So Bahrain is just fantastic. I give #1 mark to Bahrain in terms of the other GCCs. In terms of the people, the welcoming nature and the acceptability and the respect they give you for what you are. I think that's how I will summarize.
So I think I was about to ask you, what do you think is unique about Bahrain? I think you already covered that by saying that, and I totally agree with you. I think Bahrain is probably the most welcoming expat, as an expat, I think most welcoming place that I have ever been to as well.
Correct. Yeah.
And any fond memory during from your time being in Bahrain? Do you remember anything very fondly? How things have been?
Yeah, of course, you know, I still remember my partner, although unfortunately he passed away in the year 2005. I still remember, you know, the long times that we used to be together and, you know, have fun. I have lots of Bahraini friends who are really sincere. You can see their warmth. The one thing that, you know, I want to highlight as something that, you know, I will always cherish in my memory is that I was involved in setting up the Al-Kindi Hospital, as you know. We were the lady doctor who actually formed it and is a majority shareholder. She dreamt of a hospital. I discouraged her as a normal. Actually, I'll tell you a story. You know, Sony, if you read the book, Akio Hiroto, in the first page of his book, he says, had I listened to my accountant, there would have been no Sony.
Okay.
So I said, you are doing good, you have everything, you have peace of mind, why do you want a hospital? He said, no, it's my dream. So today you are seeing the hospital is successful. So my attachment to it is, you know, like what do you call, the way I have been involved in that, right from scratch and seeing it, progress, that gives me a lot of, and the process has been, that has also created a lot of friends for me in the process. So that is one thing that I will never forget in my life.
Excellent, sir. And I think Kalkendi is doing quite well now. So,
yes.
I didn't know you had a hand in setting up the hospital.
I was on the board actually.
Okay.
For about 8 years.
Wow, that's good. That's great. Now, I think we talked about all the work life things that you have done, but outside of work, what is it that you like? I mean, any hobbies, anything outside of work that you like to pursue, that you enjoy outside of work?
Well, you asked me, spare time. I just wonder, even many people ask me, Balu, what do you do in your leisure time? I find, unfortunately, I don't find time or spare time. I mean, as you know, I'm involved with ICRF for more than 10, 12 years, which is Indian Community Relief Fund. I am also the founding board member of Bahrain India Society. So these two things do keep me busy in things, and I like to read books. I also see movies, and I see Malayalam movies, Hindi, Tamil, and on rare occasions, when I go with my family to Hollywood movies, I normally go to sleep. And my kids make fun of me, so I restrict myself to regional movies.
Okay, that's that happens to me also sometimes. Okay, now I mean, you had a very long journey. So looking back, what do you think has been the biggest contributor to the success in your life journey so far? And also, if I were to ask you one thing that you can change, if you could change one thing from the past, what would that be?
See, actually, the success, of course, Ajay, you are a married man, and I can say this boldly. For married people, in my view, your wife plays a very important role. And I must give full credit to my wife, because while I was pursuing my profession, pursuing my career, she was taking care of our 2 children, and my 2 children are professionals in their own right today. And so that's a big contributor in my life. Of course, I am a very positive person. I'm not hesitant to say that, because I don't believe that anything is impossible. And if you decide to succeed, you will succeed. If you think you can, you can. So that's what I believe. Sometimes you ask me a question which I'm sure everybody will definitely think of this in their lifetime. What I would have liked to change, I sometimes think probably whether I should have left ACE, because my boss used to come and tell me when I quit. He said, Balu, you have reached such a place, nobody reached, you just reached it in 10 years. Now you can retire here, next 20, 30 years you can stay. Put your foot on the table and do nothing. So, but I left, because, I do believe that, a turtle makes progress only when it sticks its neck out. If it is in the shell, it can't move. But if it sticks its neck out, it sees and it goes forward. So that's something which I believe, and you make mistakes sometimes. You do take decisions because the fear of the unknown. People do decide. Some people come to me, discuss, etc., etc. So I always give my experience. As long as you are comfortable, money should not be the only motivator for you. What you have to really think about is what makes you happy. If you are happy where you are, doesn't matter the money. Money will come, and you do your hard work. Of course, you have to be smart. It's not that you just do hard work alone, but you have to be smart as well to see what is the future, etc. And you have to make a couple of moves if that is necessary. So the thing probably that is one thing, and I always think that maybe now I should also try to find time to be lazy and travel. And that's one thing that I want to really do. And these COVID times, you are not able to travel. So that's really putting a lot of pressure on me.
Well said, sir. Well said. Now, I think you have given a good overview of your life journey so far. Now, let's come specifically to the BCICI activities. So, tell us something about your time as the chairperson of BCICI, things that you remember vividly in terms of the activities that has happened during your tenure.
Thank you, Ajay. Actually, when I came, as I told you, when I came to Bahrain, I concentrated on my work for at least 3 years, because I decided that I should, I had an aim that I should, develop into XYZ in that period. So I didn't move, I didn't go to BCICI anytime till my 4th year, I suppose. And when I went, I think Agnel was the chairman. So he said, Mr. Balu, we will be calling you to the stage, so you have to come. So I said, okay. And then, I asked him what for. He said, no, sir, your firm is the only firm which, has paid the full membership fee for all the chartered accountants in your company. So I had, I think, about 8 or 9 CAs at that time. And our staff strength was about 38 or so. So he said, we want to honor you and, appreciate you because other firms can follow. So that is one thing which I vividly remember. But if you are asking me about my chairmanship in the year 2008-2009, of course, Mani was my predecessor. So he is the one who actually encouraged me to be part of this setup. I said we have to do something different. We have to change the whole face of the BCICI. We have to grow from, doing activity in a small scale, jump-start it, make it more visible, interact with more government officials, and be, proactive, and bring the Bahraini people also into the, the scheme of things. And that's when we thought of the, first GCC conference, 2-day event. I'm sure you know of it.
Yes.
And we had a great alumni of, great speaker list of 12 people. We had 4 presidents, and we had about 6 Central Council members. And it was a grand event. We also had a spouse with entertainment program on the first day, and we had belly dance and tap dance, and we had also a spouse program on that occasion. First day, second day, so I remember very well, and all the chairmen who have come, after that, have only surpassed, what has been achieved. So, and it's a great tradition in BCICI, which is very healthy, which is not there in any other thing. And people talk in India also when I go for conferences, meet presidents and all that. They say Bahrain is unique because Bahrain has a unique way of by consensus. Our election is by consensus, which is a great achievement in itself. There is a chairman every year, and every chairman tries to outdo the other chairman. And I am sure you will likewise do it. You already started doing it. So wish you well. And the chapter will go from strength to strength. And I always, and the Bahraini people also, they really appreciate. The ministry, let me tell you, they are really appreciative of the professional way that we conduct ourselves, the professional way that we hold programs, and they are very happy. Yes. That's a fact.
Thank you, sir. I think that's very well summarized. I was anyway going to ask you how the chapter has evolved in the last few years. Maybe now you can tell me a little bit about the positives from your time. I mean, what has changed positively, and possibly some areas where we could still develop.
You see, of course, you see the initiatives that you have, because you have come and discuss, and we have been discussing how things can be improved, and your thoughts and your plans are fantastic, I can tell you. So already you have them in place. So I am sure I don't have to add to that list because it's already there. But probably, maybe you can interact with the schools. You already have the initiative of, giving scholarships, which is excellent. You could possibly, start up some study circle programs, which, can help, people who can't afford to go to, further training and structured training, etc. So you can talk to the experts or, the seniors who can possibly give lecture for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour. And one thing that, I probably may suggest, Ajay, is, maybe like they have this alumni club in all universities and colleges, maybe you can start some kind of alumni, this thing for people who have left the island, because they are going to, like our Vivek Kapoor. Vivek is in Dubai, in Toronto. So maybe have a association or have a kind of, contact list of, involve them also. That would be fantastic, because I think he also organized the latest event of Meenakshi, where, the whole world was watching.
Yes.
I think you were the initiator for that. So such programs also helps, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you. No, I think that's a fantastic suggestion. I think especially with technology, we can always remain connected.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great suggestion, sir. We will definitely do that.
Yeah.
So it's been probably like 12 years since you have finished your tenure. But do you want to hear what your team members have to say? What are their memories of having worked under your leadership? Maybe we can listen to some of your past team members.
Balu sir is a Jadugar. That's what we used to call him, and that's what he proved. The biggest thing which he did was to take our chapter from here to here in one swift shot. 60 days, an international conference which we had never done before. He could get the whole team to say, we will do it. Nobody believed him, but he said, we will do it, and he did it. A fantastic effort. A person, he's a powerhouse. He's a person, he's a true leader where we can all follow, and that's something which I really learned from him. Thank you, Balu sir, for all that you have done for us.
Dear Mr. Balu, Vanakkam. I would like to begin by thanking Mr. Balu for giving me the opportunity to be part of his team. He is a true leader and has been instrumental in his team's success. He always believes in setting the new benchmark in standard of works. He shared his thought on the first ever annual event and just gave a deadline of 60 days. Most of the committee members were gossiping that this is very difficult to achieve. Even in such a short time, meticulous planning, motivating team members, he managed to deliver first annual event successfully and take the chapter to new heights. Once again, I would like to thank Mr. Balu for his immense support. God bless Mr. Balu.
It's like a tree. A tree requires a lot of nurture, support, energy, power, water, sunlight. If we remember our chartered accountant chapter, ICAI chapter, when 10 years before or 15 years before started, people had believed that it will be still very small. I remember a chairman, a dynamic personality, our ex-chairman Balu sir, who has basically taken this challenge and given us the chapter a new stage, a new platform, whereby we always remember him not just as chairman of the BCICI, as a person who has taken the lead to change the chapter, to bring the international conference, and also, if I remember, it was whenever we need actually a fee collections or any support from any perspective, whether it's a personal or chapter basis, he always supported us. I am very thankful. We cannot forget the personality as well as the backbone of the chapter, our beloved Balu sir, and we salute him, and we feel like that how we nurture our tree, he is nurturing the chartered accountants of the future.
Part of the BCICI committee of 2008-9 under the chairmanship of Balu sir. It is an experience I can never forget. His leadership qualities are par excellence. Each and every program was meticulously planned and executed. Each member of the team understood what was expected of them. Regular follow-up and progress assessment was done to avoid any surprises. In spite of that, there were some challenges, and the way he handled them with the electrifying smile boosted the confidence of the entire team. The regional conference was a gem on his crown that elevated BCICI to a different pedestal. The planning and execution was excellent. There was a lot to learn. All in all, it was an experience I can never forget in my life. Balu sir is Balu sir, an exceptional but down-to-earth leader anyone would want to emulate. God bless him. Thank you.
I was fortunate enough to work with the charismatic leader Mr. Balasubramaniam, whom we lovingly call Balu, in the ExCom of BCICAI in 2008-2009, which is considered as a turning point in the chapter's activities. The idea of a GCC conference in the chapter was the brainchild of Mr. Balu, which was organized in such a way that no one who attended the event can ever forget it. An enthusiasm was created in the minds of our fellow members, and this was instrumental in bringing the attendance of members to 300 to 400 in every subsequent CPE events. I would like to describe him as a true leader who works with the team, a good mentor, a visionary, a person with a sound ethics, willpower, devotion and determination. On both professional and personal level, I am grateful for the time we spent together.
When you hear the name Balu, your energy becomes double. This is his power of inspiration. I had a great opportunity to work with him as a treasurer of BCICI when he was the chairman in 2008 and 9. When you say it's difficult, he always says we will do it. Difficult but possible, that is his mantra. I was tired of keeping the books of BCICI as the inflows were kept coming in as rain in the forest. 2008 was the time where the brand CEO was lifted to higher heights under his great leadership. Not only that, he is very instrumental in offering new openings for many CAs and made sure that they settled well with their career. And I am fortunate to be one among them. Thank you, Balu sir, for giving such a great opportunity. May God bless you, live longer, healthier, to continue your service. Thank you.
Balu Sahab. Well, I was part of BCICI ExCom in 2008-2009 when Balu Sahab was the chairman. And what a year it was. I learned a lot of leadership skills just watching Balu functioning as a chairman. For us, if anything was impossible, for Balu it was always I am possible. He would always find a way to get anything done and done well. It was amazing to see how he would help others to get up to speed if they were lost. His work ethics, his dedication, his hard work, and his infectious laughter was all there for us to see and follow. Not only he dreamt big, but he turned it into reality. And here I am talking about our international conference. Undoubtedly, Balu took BCICI to a newer height. Balu Sahab was awesome, Balu Sahab is awesome, and Balu Sahab will always remain awesome.
Ekla chalo re. Famous poet Shri Guru Rabindranath Tagore narrated this years back. And Balu Sahab, you are a fit example of that. You had a dream, you planned for it, and we followed you. I still remember in our first ExCom meeting when you shared about GCC conference detail. A 2-day event, more than 12 international speakers, and most important thing, budget for the event was 5 times higher than all our past previous years. But
We succeeded with your hard work, dedication and vision, and rest is in the history of our chapter books. Here with you, Balu Saab was sitting in hovercraft, passing by at a very fast pace. Any action of any company is always to the customer experience, upliftment of customer experience, customer satisfaction. And I used to remember, you used to tell me, and even you are telling me now, Alok, each and every of my action is towards upliftment of our members' knowledge. And most important thing is uplift our brand image, chartered accountant in GCC, worldwide, and in particular Bahrain. Thank you very much, Balu Saab, from bottom of my heart. Balu, Jadugar, the magician. Thank you.
Having listened to them speak about you, what are your feelings?
I was worried what they are going to say, but luckily for me, like they really supported. It was a teamwork actually, and I practiced total delegation. I gave full authority to everybody. Really, I remember Mr. Desai, I told him entertainment is your baby. So he asked me, sir, what do I do? Balu, what do I said, please don't ask me. I'll give you the money, just do it. So that was my message to everybody. So total delegation, and it worked like magic. I really thank them for the full support that they gave me.
Thank you. And before we conclude, I just want one final question. What is the message that you would want to give to the young aspirants CA, either people who have qualified CA recently, people who are aspiring to become CAs, as well as the young members that we have in our fraternity in Bahrain?
Yeah. Thank you, Ajay, for this question. Well, in fact, I have prepared a list of quotes which I would like you to display in the what do you call screen. One thing is, of course, plan, have goals, have focus, make sure that you don't hesitate. Once you decide to do something, have a to-do list and a deadline, because a dream with a deadline is goal. You can achieve it. You can't just daydream. You can't just wish. And now talking about future CAs or young CAs, while we were driving down, we talked about technology. So the traditional accountant's job is going to be out of the window very soon, and so will be the auditors. So we will have to be tech savvy. And that is something which everybody has to really catch up and be, forward thinking, making sure their skills are honed and their future is always there. CA is one profession which will never go out of fashion because there are less number of CAs. And that is once you are up in technology, nobody can touch you.
Thank you, sir. I think that's a very, very good advice. In fact, one of the pillars for my term this year would be to focus on upskilling as well as reskilling, which is for members like us who have already passed out the CA, but also an enhanced focus on technology. So I think you have basically mentioned the same advice. I think I can't agree more. So I think I thank you really very much for taking your time and attending this interview. I really hope the viewers have got a good insight into the life and times of one of the legends of the BCICI leadership, CA Balu sir. And thank you very much, sir, again.
Thank you.
Until we meet again for the next Mentor of the Month interview, see you then. Bye-bye.